Southwest and Spirit are both staples in the low-cost U.S. air travel segment. Both airlines share the same U.S. market and offer very attractive alternatives to legacy carriers. But considering how these two airlines operate in similar low-cost environments, why has Spirit acquired the notorious reputation of being the Motel 6 of the sky, while Southwest is the envy of the airline industry? Commercial air travel has changed dramatically in the US since its deregulation in 1978. Other key factors of progress include wealth, technology, and airport availability. The low-cost concept has proved particularly successful, especially for short-haul flights. And currently, there are 6 low-cost carriers in the US. That is JetBlue, Southwest, Allegiant, Spirit, Frontier, and Sun County Airlines. At the heart of the low-cost business model rests its competitive advantage, price. But practical application and academic literature seem to suggest that price may not be the only thing that matters. It may only be one part of the equation, especially when dealing with customer satisfaction. Other factors also need to be present for price to be a competitive advantage in the service industry, as it encompasses a very unique experiential dimension. So now a quick background on Southwest and Spirit. Let's start with Spirit. Spirit actually started off as a trucking company in 1964, and then became a charter U.S. destination airliner. Southwest actually has its start in 1960s and is probably the most recognizable brand in affordable air traveling services in the United States. So Spirit is actually the 8th largest commercial airliner in North America, with revenues of $3.3 billion and a workforce of 8,900 employees. And Southwest, on the other hand, has revenues of about $21 billion and a workforce of well over 57,000 employees, and is the 2nd largest airliner by market value, occupying 17% of the total domestic market share in the US. So now let's explore our methodology. So the report was developed, or rather the presentation was developed to compare and contrast the services marketing strategies of both firms. Secondary research methods were used, such as a thorough review of academic literature, leadership reports, research reports from global organizations, market data, commentaries, and customer testimonials. In our analysis, we used the GAPS model of service quality. Moving on to current techniques and strategies, let's start off with Southwest. As far as listing strategies, Southwest utilizes a lot of its customer service facing roles to scan customer sentiment, and they report these to upper management. But in recent years, upward communication has been complemented by their listening center. It's essentially a giant social media department ready to assist and listen to customers. To overcome some of the design and standard gaps, Southwest uses a number of customer-defined standards to enhance its operation. The hard standards are on-time arrival and departure, mishandled luggage, and replying in real time on social media. Other customer-defined standards include flexible change and cancellation policies and one-tier customer resolution. Southwest also has an interesting approach to overcoming its design gaps. It has its own customer R&D called the Southwest Innovation Lab. Performance strategies include hiring people for attitude and not for skill. The company also has its own university for people that acts as a large training center and development. In terms of technology, Southwest uses 3 important systems that aids its service performance. First is its mobile app and its website. Second, the company makes use of self-serve kiosks at the airport counter. Third, it utilizes digital information screens and maps inside its terminal to guide customers. To manage demand and capacity, Southwest makes the use of a powerful information system. Finally, communication strategies. Southwest utilizes many different strategies and techniques to close the communication gap. First is its transparency. It was originally revealed in 2014 as a marketing campaign, but it has now become an important cornerstone in communication or communicating value to consumers. Southwest has also developed a very strong internal employee community, and employees now are able to be brand ambassadors and advocates for the company. In terms of visual communication, the company uses a range of tactics, including employee uniforms, aircraft livery, and indoor signage, but it is its Southwest heart that is its most important, noticeable, and enduring piece. Moving on to Spirit Airlines. Let's talk about listening strategies. So Spirit also uses social media and also uses its customer service hotline as a listening tool. In terms of design and standard strategies, Spirit has copied some of the most popular and traditional industry practices. Well, very recently, it has begun to take one important customer priority seriously: reliability. This is Spirit's first and sole customer-defined standard that is currently being tracked for customer service purposes. As for performance strategies, Spirit uses its own in-house signature service training in collaboration with Disney. In terms of technology, the company also uses self-check-in kiosks and self-bag drop-offs at the airport. Customers can also use the official Spirit application, or they can text the company via WhatsApp. Finally, demand and capacity are also managed by a large information system. And last but not least, communication strategies. So Spirit utilizes its Bear Fare marketing communication strategy to signal to consumers that its service is very basic in nature. Visually, the company uses similar tactics as Southwest in terms of uniforms, aircraft livery, and indoor signage, but its yellow and black color scheme also helped to communicate its taxi cab-like vibe. So what is unique to Southwest Airlines? Well, for starters, it doesn't believe in charging ridiculous fees to customers. It's also one of the fastest growing airline companies in the last few years. So what strategies are actually working? Social media. When it comes to listening, Southwest social media is undisputably a success story. If loving is caring, and Southwest makes it clear that it doesn't take its customers for granted. Its customer-oriented culture is always ready to listen and available to help 24 hours a day. Employee empowerment. Delivering quality service means that customer service agents must also have the appropriate resources and systems in place to solve problems. Southwest employees are free to use common sense as well as exercising any power they feel if necessary to solve customer issues. And finally, transparency. Financial pressures have forced Southwest to increase their fares over the years, but that didn't stop the carrier from doing something about it. Its transparency campaign has now become a service promise and a tool to manage customers' expectation downwards with regards to fare prices. But there are still areas that need improvement. What's not working so well at Southwest is self-service. Even if customers can print their own baggage tags at the kiosk, bags still need to be weighed. Southwest still relies on a mostly manual process for weighing bags. And of course, this creates long waiting queues for the check bag process. Now let's look at Spirit Airlines. So, what is unique to Spirit Airlines? Well, it has one of the youngest fleets in the United States. But what is most unique about Spirit Airlines is that it follows a pay-as-you-go customer service model. So let's talk about what's actually working well at Spirit. Demand and capacity. The company spent a large amount of money on modernizing its information system and technology. The company has found an algorithm to incentivize consumers in booking their flights, shifting demand during off-peak hours. So with a greater amount of flights running during off-peak hours, Spirit has been able to achieve a record 86.4% on-time performance in 2019. and roughly the same in 2020, surpassing Southwest at only 80.1 and 80.2 respectively. But there are also plenty of things that don't work. Let's start off with listening. The Spirit's social media strategy is very different. No one actually monitors people's interaction. Instead, it usually utilizes sentiment analysis. So this approach does not encourage any type of relationship building because it shows that no one is actually interested in interacting and listening to customers. Self-service. Interestingly, Spirit also has problems with its self-service, but the issues are defining customers' role. The company actually uses a fair amount of self-serving technology, but it doesn't make it clear enough to customers, nor does it promote on its website how its service actually works. Sadly, Spirit doesn't monitor its kiosk, and while their technology efforts do probably reduce wait time, it also raises anxiety for new customers that may not be familiar with the process. And if you don't know, you can always go to the customer service desk, but the company will charge you $10. Integrated marketing communications. Integrated marketing communication is probably the company's biggest issue. Even if Spirit went through an extensive rebranding process, there are still many inconsistencies. Again, as mentioned above, the company does not have a department in charge of monitoring socials. As a result, there are conflicting messages being sent to customers, employees, and especially prospective customers. Other gaps exist with its visual identity. The company doesn't have a distinctive logo except its trade name. However, on its Twitter and Facebook page, it uses a big S in yellow, but unfortunately this isn't used anywhere else in the servicescape, website, or indoor signage. Also, its Bear Fare is still very much misunderstood. The company does not make an effort to remind customers what it actually means. Also surprisingly, nowhere can you find any disclosures or explanation about its Bear Fare on its website or even within its promotional campaign. Internally, there are some conflicting messages too. Spirit's operational price-focused strategy sends employees the message that customer service is not a priority. Customer service employees are perceived as cost items, or in other words, are viewed as non-generating positions, or non-revenue generating positions, that is, rather than agents helping the company in adding value to its service. So what can each company learn from each other? So what Spirit can learn from Southwest is that employees need to be valued and seen as partners that can help enhance the company's image. On the other hand, Southwest can learn a few things from Spirit about technology. Even though Spirit has issues with its self-service, Southwest can still learn how to adopt a similar model to increase its performance. What risks might impact the service delivery going forward? The first item is COVID-19. Since the beginning of the pandemic, travel demands have dropped. Other risks are targeted government policies that weaken the airline industry as a whole. As well, with COVID-19, operating costs are likely to increase. And now to the recommendations. For Spirit Airlines, we have 3 recommendations. The first one is to create an instructional video about Spirit's self-serve technology and explain what customers can expect at the airport. The second is to explain to customers what the Bear Fare really entails. The third is to implement a conditional free bag policy. With regards to self-serve technology, there is a lack of customer education, and since the company depends so much on its customers to do the work, they can introduce too many errors in the process when under pressure, potentially widening the company's performance gap. As with the Bear Fare, again, managing customers' expectations is necessary. It may be impossible to control, or rather take control of its social media like Southwest, but at the very least, the company has to address what costs are to be expected. There are still an overwhelming number of complaints related to baggage costs and other services. It would be logical to conclude that a bare fare would include very little, yet it is still very much misunderstood and is likely contributing to the perception of poor customer service. And finally, let's finish off with the free bag policy. If customers are complaining so much about baggage fees, then maybe Spirit should really start listening to its customers. By implementing some sort of reward system, such as a pay luggage fees 5 times and get a free carry-on luggage allowance on your next trip, it could not only enhance its customer service, as in rewarding employees for being loyal to the company as well as being partial employees, but it would also not significantly encroach on its low-cost business strategy and ancillary revenue streams, because the company can still plan to smooth out revenues. And now off to Southwest Airlines. We also have 3 recommendations. The first is to incorporate fully automated self-drop-off luggage booths in the service gate. 2, give customers with no check-in luggage flexible check-in options. And 3, implement a rewards program for using self-serve technologies. Let's explore the first recommendation. To further increase performance, Southwest could install self-luggage drop-offs with automated scales. This would reduce wait times and queues for checking in bags. This would work side by side with its full service counter and further reduce the load on frontline workers. Employees at the counter could also be more effective in assisting customers that need help, thus enhancing the service experience. Now, with regards to giving customers with no checked luggage flexible check-in options, although Southwest tries to control the experience by getting consumers to use their own self-service kiosks, business and leisure travelers with no checked bags should be given an option to check in at any public kiosk or simply skip the process entirely. Once again, this would reduce the amount of people in the processing area, thus helping the company to be more effective at assisting customers that actually need help. And finally, the rewards program for using self-serve technologies. So Southwest could roll out a small incentive program similar to what was recommended for Spirit. This would simply complement the 2 recommendations above and help Southwest in maintaining a positive perception amongst customers about its self-service technology initiatives. So after reviewing Southwest's and Spirit's service marketing strategies, we can now understand why Southwest Airlines has been recognized as a firm delivering excellent customer service and why Spirit has been recognized as a company that has relatively poor customer service. Southwest has managed to close a fair amount of gaps, with only just a few still hindering the company. Spirit, on the other hand, needs to close several gaps, even though it has done much work in becoming a more reliable carrier over the past years. And this completes our presentation. We hope you've enjoyed it. Thank you.